You're listening to The Business Breakfast on Dubai Eye 103.8.
Live at World F Dubai, the Middle East's premier international digital commerce event.
Right, listen, you don't have to believe everything I say, but one thing you must believe is that I can guarantee, and I can't guarantee much, but I can guarantee that when World F Dubai gets underway in earnest behind us, a little later on this morning and throughout the next 3 days, there are two letters that will be uttered a number of times. So those are the A followed by the I. Artificial intelligence is literally part and parcel of everything we do. Business, pleasure, and otherwise these days. It has moved and evolved so quickly. Latest figures suggesting roughly 75 to 88% of companies globally are now incorporating AI into at least one business function. I would suggest that's probably a little low. Well, one organization that is not only bringing it in, but also educating others about its potential is the Abu Dhabi-listed artificial intelligence company Presight. They've just reported, in fact, they haven't just reported because the boss is alongside me to report. CEO of Presight, Pramotedham, has joined us live down here at Commerce City. Thanks very much indeed. Sorry for dragging you all the way out here, but really appreciate your time this morning.
Well, it's good that you're frame, and we're happy to be here. The weather is good. We're waiting for the bus to really happen at World F, so looking forward to that.
Loads of numbers to get through here. Good, obviously, great number. Presight reporting 36.9% annual revenue growth, ARG, last year. That's surpassing the 3 billion dirham mark. Let's get into the numbers individually if we can, because there are loads to get through. Let's start with that percentage, with the revenue growth. What changed? What changed last year that accelerated?
Well, if you look at it, and we spoke about this on several occasions, in my office, out here in your studio, this is a 12th consecutive growth quarter, right? It's a momentum that we've started since we started the listing. It's a momentum that started since we decided to consolidate our UAE focus on the key accounts. So you see us expand that. So the UAE domestic growth continued to be steady. We've brought in the General Secretary of Cabinet as a client, the Abu Dhabi Police. We've launched world roadmaps for regulatory intelligence ecosystem with the federal government of UAE in Davos. So we continue to see that growth domestically. And then we talked about international expansion. And last year, you've been familiar, we launched our Kazakhstan regional HQ. We opened up the Jordanian office. And year on year, the international revenue has grown 130%. So today, international contributes close to 39% of the total revenue. Continue this growth streak. We see a 36.9% growth year on year, surpassing that 3 billion mark. I think that is a testament of the strategies we've put in place and executed well quarter to quarter, which is why I'm happy to say that we have 12 consecutive growth quarters in reports.
You don't need to sell to me, Thomas. You know, we here, not just me personally, but we in the region understand the significance of Presight to the region, well, to the country, to the region. But those international sales numbers are extraordinary. And again, it's, I suppose, yet another iterance and confidence in this idea, this policy of sovereign AI deployment. But how do you explain that phrase and that policy to the international market?
I think the way to look at it is, one, UAE is the capital of capital and the capital of AI. And the way UAE is leading in the adoption of AI. And if you look at the region that we are supporting, so Presight focus on the emerging growth market. These markets may not necessarily have, one, the capacity, two, the technology know-how yet, and the infrastructure to be supporting with the AI adoption across the country. UAE now supports not just with infrastructure. We launched a digital embassy program in Davos, where the sovereign infrastructure in the UAE can now be shared and used by countries in the emerging market to scale and adopt their AI application. Second, we have an ecosystem that brings about. Presight takes the lead on bringing applications that are tested in the UAE into the countries who wants to adopt not just the technology, but who wants the outcome, better citizen services, better efficiencies across smart city and urban management. These are the drives of it. Where we focus is to really take proven and scaled national platforms that's really done well in the UAE, and bring it to these countries where we operate, in Kazakhstan, in Jordan, and quite recently in Albania, that we signed up in December to run the new intelligent urban management platform, a smart city platform for that. It is the desire of the region that wants to adopt AI that is bringing us to these markets and allowing us to create multi-year sovereign contracts, allowing us to bring these solutions in country and to serve the population there.
EBITDA grew. We saw that up 23.5%, but that was a little slower than the revenue full year for last year. Is this international expansion putting pressure on margins, or is that all embedded and cooked in?
I think right now it's embedded. We have also quite reported that the operation leverage that we're going to get from the international expansion, our regional HQ setting up in the regional office in Central Asia, our ecosystem, operational leverage will come, right? But right now is investments into both R&D, the operations, the development of the project itself. So there is a margin pressure, but it is not unplanned. And we see the operational leverage coming in the outer years of 26, 27.
The regional growth story of Presight is well documented, and we know it all too well, having done so much with you guys. You mentioned Davos there and your presence there. You've mentioned Kazakhstan. You mentioned this extraordinary, 40% of the revenue now coming from outside the UAE. Obviously a regional leader. Is it now a global brand, a global company, Presight?
I would expect us, definitely a regional leader and moving towards being a global brand, because now we're in Africa, we're in Central Asia, we're in the Balkans through Albania, and we're starting in Southeast Asia. The key here is about being global is one, but our focus has always been the emerging growth markets. And that is where we really cut our teeth. We want to bring sovereign AI infrastructure and solutions to these countries. We want to support them with infrastructure that UAE can offer through the digital embassies. We want to support them with open source large language models that the university provides. So that is the space we are. And in Lights Out quite global, but regionally we're definitely a leader, and we aspire to be a global name across the countries.
Account's looking really good as well, 3.4 billion in backlog as well. And what's that mean to business leaders out there at the moment when it comes to earnings visibility moving forward?
Well, I think for all leaders, a steady growth in your order backlog gives you visibility for a long-term revenue. It gives you the ability to steer the company. It gives us the ability to take some bets while at the same time maintain stability. We expect the order book to be a big part of the revenue. So when we look at our revenue, we have revenue that comes from the order book that is locked in, and new revenue that we pursue. And you'll see year on year, Presight has a focus on maintaining a order book growth regardless of how we perform in a year. And that has proven to be a good strategy because it maintains stability and long-term visibility, allowing us to grow and take some risks.
Thomas, just almost in conclusion, just sort of breaking a bit of a sort of overview on this one. I mean, you and I were just talking about earnings coming out. Every single CEO is mentioning AI. Do they fully understand what AI is doing for their company? We don't really fully understand at the moment. Every country is looking to get one step ahead when it comes to AI capability. What's your edge? What's Presight's edge? And what's your advice as well to CEOs trying to grapple with AI at the moment?
I think consistently we're saying, is intelligence applied? It's applied intelligence, applied technology. I think that's where the focus is. CEOs, like any one of us, we need to look at what is the impact that we're trying to find. And very often today we are quantifying impact by productivity gains, and we discussed this. Productivity gain is an outcome, not the impact. Right? So we need to focus, and what the markets have not quantified is the impact of applying AI to a business, not just a business function. In the biotech is drug discovery, in city management is better citizen living. You have not quantified the impact, but we're now very conveniently and prematurely just quantified the productivity gains, which is not the true indication of AI. So my advice is, and know what we do, apply the technology, apply the intelligence, but be very clear what is the impact. The impact is not just efficiency or cost reduction. The impact is if you get a decision ahead of your peer. If the assessment that you get today prevents you from making a bad decision, the costs of the win or the prevention of the loss, it's really where the impact should be.
Brilliant advice, as always. Brilliant numbers as well for 25. It doesn't end there. He's got a busy day, as Thomas, down to Louvre. They've got all sorts going on this week. So, Thomas, I'll let you get on the road. Thomas Pramotedham, the CEO of Presight. Really appreciate your time here at Commerce City.